It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
A strong, positive sense of self-esteem is your first step to anything you wish to accomplish. Yet too often, when we attempt to leave our comfort zone, we have the chorus of inner critics inside our heads, the itty-bitty shitty committee, as I like to call mine, whispering self-sabotaging doubt and untrue trash talk in our ear. This podcast celebrates women who rise above and move beyond any self-doubt and old, outmoded limiting beliefs. Women who have reconnected with who they truly are, that gorgeous, talented, fabulous gift to the world who deserves recognition and unconditional love. My hope is that their insights inspire all of you to do the same. You know the most beautiful thing any woman can wear is confidence. Here on Confidence in Bloom with the Divas That Care Network, I, Tina Spolatini, talk with women now secure in their own self-confidence so we can learn from their stories of how they found themselves and became the magnificent role models they are to us now. And today I'm speaking with Katrine Horn. A life defined by bold moves and bigger dreams, from the quiet landscapes of Denmark to the vibrant classrooms of London's Guildhall School of Music and Drama and the prestigious Conservatoire de Paris. Katrine's life has been a journey of discovery and daring. Her past took her from the stages of London to the historic charm of Tulhouse, where she transitioned from teaching to coaching, driven by a passion for unlocking potential, now residing in a picturesque manner in the south of France. With dreams of a chateau on the horizon, Katrine embodies the spirit of transformation she brings to her coaching, inviting others to explore what more life has to offer. Welcome, Katrine.
Wow, thank you, Tina. I'm delighted to be talking to you.
Oh, thank you. Now, I would love for you to tell us what kind of, like when you look out your bedroom window, what is the most beautiful thing you see?
Right here where I am now, it's mountains. So I've got beautiful mountains with trees right in front of my bedroom window. I've got a meadow I can see at the bottom. There's a cross at the end of the meadow, and I can see my neighbors' houses. And that feels so good.
Wow. I just imagine like you're in the south of France. Like, you know, around the world we know that as being beautiful.
And it is. Come and see for yourself is all I can say.
Well, I mean I have been to Lyon, France. I think that's the farthest south I've been.
Right. And did you like it?
Oh my God, it was beautiful. I've been to Paris twice, and I think Paris is beautiful. So I'm sure that you just love it. Like you must love it. For you to have moved around as much as you have, you know, settling in the south of France must be just beautiful. Like the life you dreamed of.
It's such fun that you're insisting on the beauty, because I discovered quite recently that actually beauty was one of my values. And it sounds crazy because I'm a life coach, so I should be really aware of my values. But can I just say that they can change? And sometimes we can be really drawn towards something that we sort of resist or we fight a little bit because of the fear of what we make it mean about us. So I used to make beauty mean that I was superficial or frivolous, like this craving to make things beautiful and to surround myself with beautiful things and to be attracted to all things beautiful. That was really something I used to get upset with myself about. And I used to tell myself, I know it sounds crazy, but you really shouldn't be wanting what you want, right? It's not worthy enough, right? It's not, what can I say? It's not valuable enough. And I just found out not so many years ago that was totally not true, right? I think that beauty is healing. And I think we are allowed to just admit that what we want is what we want, and then give ourselves permission really to want it wholeheartedly. And so beauty has been part of my story, and it certainly is part of my life now. So thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. Well, and you bring up a good point. We are growing to believe that, not to want, too much, right? Like, stay at your own level. When you want something that you don't already have, then you're reaching for too much, right? And that's where that, you felt you were wrong to want beauty in your life. But the reality is, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, right? If you look outside your window and it makes you happy with the scenery that you see, it might not make every person in the world happy the way it makes you happy. So why can't you want that? Right? I'm not a small, I don't, that's the way I see it. I think, because we're all different, right? When you look for, a spouse, you know what you want, right? So does that mean that you have to take something that you don't want because it's asking for too much? I don't think so. I think we're all worthy of what we want, as long as we're all willing to, keep it at that, right? If it's never going to be good enough, then there's something that we need to change within ourselves.
Yes, but if I could just comment on that, because many of us make ourselves wrong, and that is obviously what I used to do. So we can make ourselves wrong about who we are, what we want, or what we do. There's so many possibilities of making ourselves wrong. And what you're saying is so true. Like, let's just make ourselves right and just accept that, well, this is how it is, and let's just embrace it. And I think it's when we try to deny that we want what we want, that is when we start losing confidence, because we are telling ourselves lies. So there's no better way than starting mistrusting or doubting yourself than to start telling yourself that what you feel or what you want is wrong. Would you agree with that?
100%. 100%. Because really, who says it's wrong? Who says it's right? Right? It's my life and it's your life. You and I both get to choose what is going to be wrong for us and what's going to be right for us. No one else gets to choose that for us. Right?
Yes,
we know in our hearts and in our soul what works for us.
I think we do, but then we get influenced by other people. Like when I was growing up, I wanted to play the harp. And the harp is a beautiful stringed instrument, and I thought it was beautiful. So that was my sort of first flirtation with beauty. I really wanted to play the harp, but nobody else was playing the harp. And so my parents told me, well, you can't play the harp. But then, as I grew up, it turned out that I could play the harp. And it even turned out that I could go to music college in London, which was my dream. And all the time people were telling me, you can't do that. You can't have that. Do you know? Does that resonate with you? So many of us are told that we can't have what we want.
Right. And a lot of that, as we grow older, we start to realize that the reason why they tell us, that other people tell us you can't have that is because then, you're going to be too much. No one can handle. If you're famous, who's going to handle you, right? You're no longer going to be little Katrine, right?
Yeah, and I think also it could be so inconvenient to other people, right? If you're really being you, like pull out you, it could be inconvenient, and well, maybe some people might not like it. And then what, right? Then what?
Yeah. Yeah, and okay, so I like the sound of the harp, but I wouldn't tell you that it's my favorite, right? So,
yeah.
But that doesn't mean, that doesn't make you a bad person or a different person. That just means I don't, necessarily care for the instrument that you play, right? And so, we all have to accept people for who they are, in my opinion, right? I don't care what you do for work as long as you're a good person, and you're nice with me. That's what matters to me.
But don't you think, Tina, that if you accept yourself as you are, it becomes so much easier to accept other people how they are? But when you're constantly telling yourself that, oh, this is wrong about you and that is wrong about you, well, then you find fault with other people too, really.
This is so true, right? If we don't accept ourselves, then we can't accept anyone else.
Right. And what's the fun in going around, living your life, finding fault everywhere? I mean, the fun of that is very limited, I think. So it's much more fun and delightful and life-affirming and heartwarming when you go around finding so much that is right about yourself, first of all, and then about the world and about other people, even your mother-in-law or whatever, Find out, look for what is good, right?
Yeah, that is so true, right? It's so true. So, I guess what you're saying is until we learn to love and accept ourselves the way we are today at this moment, with or without fault, we cannot accept or love the rest of the world.
100%, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you talk about that is really what defines unconditional love, meaning that we don't put a condition on it. So it's not about I will love myself when I've lost 50 pounds. It's not about I will love myself once I get a degree, I make $1 million or whatever. It's like right here, right now, we are all so lovable the way we are. So there's nothing we have to fix to be lovable, and there's nothing we have to comply to, because once we start setting these conditions, well, guess what? We're no longer in unconditional love. And putting conditions on everything and other people, our circumstances, opinions or whatever, is really not very joyful either.
No, it's so true, right? And the thing is, when we are loved with conditions by other people in our world, we also learn to love with conditions, right? Because that's what we know, that's what we're taught, right? I can only love you if you do this for me, right? Yeah. So, Katrina, is this the kind of counseling or coaching that you do, is teaching people to love themselves unconditionally?
Well, I think that loving ourselves unconditionally is the prerequisite for everything else. Like, if you're still harboring some ill feeling towards yourself, it would be very difficult to trust yourself. It would be very, very difficult to believe that you're worth making an effort for. And sometimes in life, we have to make an effort. Like, I'm living my dream life now, but I can't say that it was plain sailing getting here. So I had to feel so worthy of effort that I was willing to make it. So I would say that self-love is at the basis of anything we want to be or to have or to do. If we haven't got that piece nailed down, then whatever we build on that might crumble really and fall to pieces. And that's really what happened to me in my musical career. It was that I really hadn't resolved that question of how it was that I was worthy. So I was playing this gorgeous music, and I was playing it to charm people. I was playing it so that they would tell me I was wonderful, because I thought if they told me I was wonderful, then I would believe it too. But that never worked out at all. So I had to really generate that self-love for myself, and we can all learn how to. And that is really what I want, if anything, that people take away from this conversation, is that we can all learn. It's not either I've got it or I don't. It's how. How do I love myself?
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Okay, so this is an actual really difficult topic, right? Because some of us, well, I mean, you know yourself, I'm sure it was no different. I mean, your parents told you that you couldn't play the harp. And, I mean, their reasons, I'm sure they were, I'm sure they had good reason in their hearts why you couldn't, right? But comparison is the biggest thing, right? Why would you want to play an instrument that nobody else is playing, right? I remember my mom used to say, why can't you help me around the house like your cousin does, right? And I used to think, fine, I won't help you at all. If that's how it goes, right? Like, I'm not my cousin. I can't do what my cousin does. I don't want to do what my cousin does. And it used to bother me so much because, I didn't like being compared to.
Oh, and you didn't like the conditional love, right?
Right.
What she was offering was very conditional love, like, be as good as your cousin, and then I will love you more. And that is really revolting. I mean, of course, she didn't think of it like that, think that our parents did anything but good to us, right, from their limited, perhaps, perspective. But she was just wishing for something, and you believe that put a condition on her love for you, which was possibly not the case.
Right, and it wasn't the case, right? And I realized that when I was older. But at the time, I used to think, and it almost made me resent my cousin and her, right, when it came to, helping around the house, because I thought, I can't be like her. Although as I got older, I became more like her. And I think my mom realized that she was 4 years older than me. So my mom realized, that it's a maturity thing, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you don't know that at the time, right?
Yeah.
A 16-year-old, a 16-year-old is so much more capable than a 12-year-old, right? As I learned as a parent of my own children. So, I mean, I get where she was coming from, but watching my own kids grow, I'm like, if she'd have waited a couple years, then I was there.
Yeah. So good. Right. But what you gave into there was a little bit of the compare and despair. And we continue that, don't we? We're sort of looking at other people and comparing us. And are we doing better or not so well? Are we looking better or not as well? And it's really detrimental to all of us, because who wants to be found better or worse, really? I mean, that's the right way to relate to people, is it? I mean, we could just be accepting everybody's uniqueness, really, and delight in it. And as you said so wonderfully, I mean, the heart is not your thing, but you're perfectly fine with it being my thing, and you don't have to make yourself wrong for not being like me, and I don't have to make myself wrong for not being like you.
Exactly. 100%. To me, I mean, we can have a conversation and we can talk, and maybe you could teach me a little bit about the harp. It's not going to necessarily make me, love the harp anymore, but it doesn't change anything between, you and me and our relationship, right? It's something you do.
Exactly. So right. Yeah, and there's so many ways that we can connect with people on so many levels, and what we do and what we have and how we look are perhaps not the ways in which we get the most out of other people. So if we connect it on a more on the basis of who we really are as people, then I think we would be able to see so much more goodness in each other and, of course, in ourselves.
Oh, and I think that's what it comes down to, right? Because I know that lots of times we don't like other people because of what we don't like in ourselves, right? And that other person that we might be talking to is sort of portraying the same values and the same characteristics of myself, let's say, that I don't like about myself. I see that in you and I'm like, oh, I don't like her.
Yes. So true. So true. And people who are listening, they can think about something they don't like about themselves and then just notice that they recognize that in other people, and that might be why they don't take to them, because it's sort of putting it in their faces, as you say, what they don't like about themselves.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, from what I've seen with people, that is so, it's like once you know that that's how we work, it's so obvious to me and others. Right? Once I learned that about people, I'm like, wow, like, it's funny that, you know, she doesn't like that girl because they're exactly the same person, right?
Yeah. So true. So true.
And I mean, even like with parenting, I don't know, Katrina, if you have children, but I know there's things about my kids that I don't like. And the older they get, the more I realize it's because I have the same traits. Right? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I got to fix myself before I can yell at my kids.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. No, I don't have any children. That is by choice. I was far too busy following my own desires to take care of other people's desires, if you see what I mean. And so that is an option I never took. And for the moment, I haven't regretted it. So that's another thing, right? It's okay for you to have children and for me not to have children. And that doesn't really mean anything other than what we make it mean.
Oh, that's so true. And, you know, I like how you said that, what we make it mean. That's with everything, right? It doesn't have to have a specific meaning, right? It's just, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I like to look at what other people do. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish.
Well, I like to look at what other people do and have and how they are and all of that for inspiration. And I think inspiration is the other side to jealousy, because when we notice in other people something we want, well, then we can start feeling jealous. But when we feel jealous, it's because we can't have it because they have got it. And on the flip side of that is the inspiration, which is they have got it. That must mean that I can have it too. So I really like to observe other people to find my inspiration for what's next. What do I want more? How could this be even better? So that's really something that I find very inspirational. And that way I never have to be jealous.
That is so true. I've never, ever thought of it in that term before. Like, I never really thought of it as inspiration. You know, like lots of times I'll hear people say, oh, I wish I had that. And I'll say, well, you can have everything, yes. Right? Like, I remember one time, you know, a bunch of us girls were sitting around and we were talking about this other girl who was dating a guy who drove a BMW. Now, this was when we were in our early 20s. So, you know, back then a BMW was a big deal. And I remember looking at these girls and going, you guys, we could all drive a BMW if we really want to, right? And they looked at me like I was crazy. And I thought, what did I say wrong? But that's kind of the same, like what you're saying. Like, they didn't like this guy because he was, you know, in their eyes better than us, or thought he was better than us. But at the same time, really, anybody can go and get a loan for a BMW. Right? I mean, we could all drive the car that we want as long as we're willing to pay for it. Yeah. I never really thought of it like that.
It comes down to decisions, doesn't it? Do I really want it? And if I really want it, am I willing to do what it takes? Am I willing to go and ask for the loan? And am I willing to pay back the loan? Like that, those are the real questions.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so true. Am I willing to do what it takes? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've had to ask myself that question a few times because I like to put myself to the test. So I'm always thinking, how could this be even better? Or is it possible to have more? Or I like to sort of challenge myself so that I make sure I get everything I want. And that, as I said, is not always easy because it really, when we strive towards something that we want to be, have, or do, it means that we have to become the person who does it or has it or is it, right? So there's some change in us that has to take place, and change is always difficult. So I think it's really important to be clear if we want that BMW, or if we want, for me it's a chateau, I want to live in a chateau. If I want that, am I willing to do what it takes? And I think that is such a good question also to think about, well, who is that woman? Who is that woman who does it, has it, or is it? What is she like? And then I can start practicing. And I think that's really how we evolve. It's because we've got something we really want. And then the process of getting it is what will have us evolve and become more of who we could potentially be. What are your thoughts on that, Tina?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Now, what kind of a woman lives in a chateau? Like, what's the difference between a manor and a chateau?
Well, nothing really, but I'm saying chateau because it lights up my soul, because I can see chandeliers, right. I can see rose gardens and beautiful architecture.
Oh, that sounds so beautiful. And so, okay, I mean, I agree with you. I do agree with you, because I think, if I want to drive a sports car, do I want to be a frumpy old woman? No, right? Like, I need to, you sort of need to be a certain type of person to drive a sports car, or to drive, a station wagon or a pickup, right? I think. Right.
Yeah.
But that doesn't also mean that you're not capable and that you're not worthy, right? Like, if you want to live in a chateau and you can afford to have it run and, keep the gardens beautiful and all the things, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to have it.
Of course
but
not.
If you think that it's going to just happen.
But this reaction I get from people a lot is when I say, I would like to live in a chateau, and then they say, oh, but that's so big. Think of all the cleaning you'd be doing. And now running around cleaning all the rooms in a chateau is not part of my dream, believe me. But it just shows me that they are not really getting it, right? Because I will have to be the woman or become the woman who employs staff. I will have to be the woman who can organize all of that. I will have to be the woman who so much else. Do you see what I mean? So it does, what shall I say? It does motivate me to evolve. And then I have to really decide, well, do I want to be the woman running around cleaning all of that? Or do I want to be the person who organizes it and who employs the people and who fires people when they have to and all of that?
Yes, and I would like to be the person who does the hiring and the organizing. I do not want to spend my life cleaning anymore. So I am on the same page as you.
Yeah, but then the question is, like, do you want to be the person who has to fire your staff?
Oh, that's
because
true.
We can't have only the good things, right? We have to take the good and the bad. And I would think it was delightful to hire a lot of cleaners to come and clean my house. They would be well paid and everything. But maybe somebody would not really live up to my expectations, and I will have to deal with it. So do I want to be that person too or not? And if it's a no, well, then I better not go and get my chateau. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%, because, I mean, no job, and it doesn't matter what job we're looking for, is all great, right? There's always the negative side to every job that we have. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, you have to, but I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? If I want something, I have to be willing to do everything, the good and the bad and the ugly, to have that job done.
So good. And I think we just need to be aware of it. So obviously the people who tell me they don't want to clean my chateau or don't want to clean their own chateau, I mean, okay, so it's not their dream, but it's still my dream, and I've thought about it. So I'm always open to new information about it, but I really have to be aware that there are advantages and then there are drawbacks, and how can I embrace all of it, and how can I make it the most enjoyable? I mean, how can I make it the most enjoyable experience or journey getting there, really?
That is so true, right? And the thing is, I mean, there's going to be, things that, like, once you have your chateau and you're running it the way you want, there's going to be things that come up that you didn't know of, right? Oh, I never thought of this. How am I going to handle this, right? We all know that, right? Because everything we do has that stuff that, pops up and we're like, oh my God, nobody told me this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? And in work and in life, right? Even like when you're doing like soul searching on yourself, you'll learn something about yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that existed, right? And so surprise.
Exactly.
Now you need to deal with it. Yeah.
I had a client who wanted to open her own shop. Shop is a store, I think. So she wanted to sell stuff. She wanted to sell clothes. And she had very clear vision about what it would look like and all of that and the kind of garments she would be selling, and it was all wonderful. But when I mentioned that she would have to be able to manage the staff, she said, oh, no, I would never be able to fire somebody. And then the question becomes, well, do you want to learn how to become that person, or do you want to give up your dream? And I think that's really the crux of the matter. Do you want to be that person or not?
Oh, no. And that's a hard thing to learn, because that's the ugly, right? That's the part that nobody wants to fire someone. But that opportunity will most likely come up, especially when you're running like a retail store. Wow. Yeah. I'm interested to know what her reaction was.
Yeah, well, her first reaction was, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. But then when we investigated further, it was because of what she made it mean. So she made it mean that she had to be nasty. She made it mean that she had to criticize and be like ruthless. But when we really found out, well, what it was to negotiate people leaving, she could find a way to see, oh yes, I could do that. This is a skill I need to learn, right? It's something that I can learn. Let me get to work on it. So she was able to overcome her first resistance. And I'm so pleased that she did take action and got the skills necessary. So for the moment, I don't think she's had to fire anybody, but she knows that when the situation comes up, she won't let it stop her. Like, she won't let anybody, any of her employees, sort of not do their best or do harm to the shop or to the business, because she knows now that she can handle how to fire people.
Wow. Okay, so that's really good. That's really empowering, right? Because then that makes you that boss. I mean, she's now the boss or the owner that they can go to, and she's going to do whatever she can to help them be better and do better.
Yes. And then it would also be irresponsible to keep somebody on who wasn't doing their job, because, I mean, for other people working there, it wouldn't be fair. And she was putting her business at risk if ever that happened. So
that's right.
She couldn't have her business just crossing her fingers that she would never have to fire anybody, right? She would have to embrace all of it. And it's so, so good when we realize what we make something mean. Like, she didn't have to be nasty. She didn't have to be ruthless. You can fire somebody with love, I think. And you can decide this is the best situation I can help them onto their next position if they so desire. I can use my network. I can make the blow less hard to take, but I will still go ahead and fire. I won't let any situation fester, because then I might lose my dream.
Yeah, and if it's that important to you, you're going to do whatever it takes to make it happen and to make it work. Oh, that sounds awesome. And so you needed to teach her how to do that. Like, you needed to teach her how to be able to fire an employee if the time came?
What I do as a coach is we just examine her thoughts. So we look at what she makes it mean, and then we go deeper. And then we go deeper, and then we go deeper. And then she finds out on her own, well, actually, this is what I'm making it mean, but it needn't mean that. It could also mean whatever. And then, well, let's empower her. Let's empower her to go out and find a management course that she can do. And as she had 2 children, she wanted it to be something she could do from home. There are lots of online possibilities, but she knew exactly what she needed. And then feeling empowered to go out and find that is so much easier than just trying to ignore a possible problem and not dealing with it, right? So she felt so empowered, and she felt that she really had a grip on things. And when we feel like that, when we feel we've explored all of it, that's also where the trust and confidence can come from, because we feel, okay, I've got this because I've really explored all of it. So coaching is not so much about telling people what to do. That would be more mentoring or teaching. So coaching is just about really examining, well, often what do you make it mean, but also, well, what are the feelings preventing me from taking action? So if she was in a firing situation, well, what was she making it mean, and what were the feelings she would have to feel to be able to take action? So she might have to be willing to feel sadness. Maybe she would have to feel apprehension. Whatever the feelings were, like, let's just explore them first so they don't take us by surprise when we are in the middle of achieving our greatness.
Right. Yeah, that really makes coaching more clear. I love that. So it's like peeling away the onion, right? Like, why do you feel this way, and what else?
Yeah. So it's not so much why, but what are you feeling, and how do you want to feel? And then what are the thoughts that will support you in feeling how you want to feel? So the thoughts that could support her in a firing situation would be, this is the best thing I can do for my company. This will serve the other workers. The person can find a new job. I mean, all of these thoughts she could start thinking, instead of thinking, oh, I'm doing a dreadful thing. Oh, this poor woman, she will never be able to work again. Or, oh, the money she'll be losing. I mean, there's so many thoughts we can think, but let's just be prepared. So being prepared means we've got psychological safety. So we know that we are safe because we have built that safety to support us. So we can't just be pulled off, like we can't fall down when we become so much more confident and solid when we examine really what we make things mean and how we feel and what we think.
Yeah, that really makes a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense. As a coach myself, I get it. I guess I don't have the right words yet. I still struggle with, explaining it the way you did so beautifully. So are your clients mostly women?
They are mostly women, yes, but I coach men too. But I market to women, and I always assume that what I do is of most interest to women, sometimes wrongly so. But I just feel that I talk to the people I see most, and I talk about the problems that they have most. And as I'm a woman, I know women best.
Right. I get that. So do you, I don't even know really, like your bio doesn't even say what you coach on. Like I know you said, you know, in one of your answers that I asked, you said that you were a life coach. So do you coach just through sort of like dilemmas then, or do you have a specific like topic that you kind of coach through?
Yes. So I take people from where they are now to where they want to be. So that hardly ever involves just one thing. It's hardly ever, I want to improve my marriage. It's usually much more. And if they think I want to improve my marriage, well, when we start digging deeper, well, we find the same problems that we found in the marriage elsewhere. So that is why I stayed a general life coach, because then I can help people like holistically in all areas of their lives. And we don't just skirt around on the surface. We go deep. So there is that real transformation where people start off in one place. We define where it is they want to be, how they want to feel, who they want to be, and what they want to do and have. And so I take them there, and I do that coaching them one-to-one once a week. And that's how I feel that we get the best results, because that is really a concerted effort on the part of my client that they are all in, right? It's not like, oh, yeah, I'll do that next Sunday. It's like, okay, I'm transforming my life now. There's something I don't like about it, but I can change it. So we go about changing it. So there's no giving up. Like, giving up is just saying, oh, I won't even try. But if we keep the momentum up, if we keep coaching on it, if we keep dealing with everything that comes up, well, people do transform. And I find that so beautiful to see, that people who just had sort of daydreams, well, when they find out they can actually make them reality, they are so surprised. And what I love also seeing is that they can make it into reality. And isn't that good to know that we don't have to settle with what we've got? We, as you said at the beginning, we can want more. We really can. We are allowed to. We all are.
And we're all worthy and deserving of that.
And that doesn't mean we aren't grateful for what we've got. We can be grateful for what we've got right here, right now, but we can also want more. And in wanting more, it will allow us to evolve. And as we evolve, we become more. We become more of who we're meant to be. And when we become more of who we're meant to be, we inspire other people to do so too. And I think that is really how we're going to transform the world. The more people get coaching, the more people who get to be fully self-expressed, the more beautiful the world will be. The less war will be there, the less conflict, the less misunderstandings, miscontentment, if that is a word. Like, I think the world would be so much of a better place when everybody feels good and are satisfied with their lives.
I have to agree, especially over the last 4 or 5 years now. I've really learned that if every single person on this earth could be more in love with themselves and more satisfied with what they have and work only for what they want, I think we would live in a happier world. But there's just so much greed and competition right now in the world that it's just destroying everything.
Yeah, but we can be the beacon of light. We can show people, well, it needn't be like that. And if we don't give in to that, then other people can see, oh, this is possible. And they might want to do that too, I believe.
Yeah. Well, we can only change the world one person at a time, right? If you don't start with yourself, you can't start with someone else. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. True. Oh, my goodness. Katrine, I could talk with you, like, forever because I totally love this subject. Like, everything we have discussed, I want more of. But, of course, we can't do that here. So, obviously, we're going to have to, like, set up another coffee date and, you know, do this again.
Yes,
but is there something on your mind that you would like to share with our listeners, you know, just to prove to themselves that they are worthy and deserving? How can like, what's one piece of advice you can give them to really understand that and feel that?
Right. So there's a bit of knowledge here, and what you need to know is that we were born worthy. And if we don't feel worthy today, it's because we talk ourselves out of it. So if we talk ourselves out of feeling worthy, then we can talk ourselves into it. So it's all something we can learn. When you think of a newborn baby, they think they are worthy, don't they? I mean, look at a baby, how demanding they can be. They think everybody should be doing what they want them to be doing. Everybody should be giving them everything they want. So we start off as feeling extremely worthy, but then we either talk ourselves out of it or we start believing people who talk us out of it. And that is all something we can change. So I would really invite everybody to start considering, well, how do I want to change it? And then just take one little first step today to feel so worthy that you're willing to stop at no effort to be all of who you can be and just watch what happens.
Yes, thank you so much. I love that. I love that. Now, you are in Paris, so I know that you are living in, like, busyness right now. Tell us your favorite thing about Paris.
Paris, I think my favorite thing is Napoleon and Josephine's chateau on the outskirts of Paris. I really enjoy visiting that because it stays sort of in the same atmosphere of the time. It's not heavily redecorated or anything. And I get so much pleasure out of being in the gardens or in the chateau, feeling really the time. I'm not an admirer of Napoleon, but I really am an admirer of the time. I think it must have been so exciting to have lived at that time. So I enjoy the beauty of Paris. If you go to Paris, I mean, I know you've been twice, there's so much to see, but just walking around in the streets can be really life transforming because there's so much to see and there's so much beauty.
Yes, there is. And so you're not in Paris yourself. Where are you roughly
I'm in
comparison to where Paris is?
Yeah, so that would be 700 kilometers to the south. So in miles, that might be 500 miles. And I often go to Paris either to meet clients or because I travel. So I used to live in Paris too, and Paris has got a very, very big place in my heart.
Yeah, we're seeing lots of pictures right now on TV. And oh my God, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, as you know by experience.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Katrine. This has been amazing. You have lots of knowledge and wisdom. Yes, thank you.
As have you.
Thank you so much.
And you're bringing so much gorgeousness to the world by doing this, right? So you're showcasing me today, but think of all the other people you've talked with and how they are inspiring everybody, really, to believe in ourselves. Right? We can do what we want to do. I think that is such a worthy cause, and I think you're doing it brilliantly.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and I love doing this. This has been great. I get to meet so many awesome women like you. It's been great. Thank you so much, Katrine.
Thank you.
Confidence in Bloom is a celebration of self-love, a confirmation that even though you may not look like a screen star or a supermodel, they don't even look like that, you are an amazing, desirable, brilliant, gorgeous, talented woman. We offer unconditional love to our partners, our children, our extended family, even our pets. It's high time we got out of our own way and learned to unconditionally love ourselves. In Full Bloom, Styling and Coaching offers an online course combined with one-on-one coaching in confidence building, personal branding, and creating your signature fashion look. Chic definitely does come in every shape, so if you want something to believe in, start with yourself. If you'd like to be a guest here on Confidence in Bloom, contact me through Instagram at infobloomstyling or by email at tina@infobloomstyling.com or through the Divas That Care website.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.